Today I'm doing the Spooler room. It's another warm-up from Hackviser, stage 3. It's a medium room. Windows systems use tokens to manage the privileges of users. These tokens determine what kind of operations users can perform on the system. It's recommended to practice stealing tokens by exploiting misconfigured services on the system, performing token manipulation and privilege escalation attacks with the stolen token. So we've got to answer all these questions down here. We've got our machine started already, there's the IP there, so we'll just copy the IP, start off with, and we'll make sure we've got a connection. So we'll ping the IP, and we can see we're getting a reply, so we're connected. And I've got my VPN connected here, so I'll just ping that and make sure it's 10.8.1.225, which is the up the top of the screen there. So, and we get a connection to that too, so we're all good to start. So we'll start off with a Rust scan, and we'll put our IP in here, and we're going to this incorporates nmap as well with the -a flag, which would be scripts, operating systems, and service versions. The two dashes means it goes to nmap. So we'll run the Rust scan, and straight away we can see we've got port 21's open, port 80's open, port 135, 139, 445, 1801, 2103, lots of other ports there. We can see we've got 139, 445, which is normally SMB ports. We've got port 80 open, so it's got a HTTP service, and 21's a FTP. So what we'll do to start off with is we'll go to their browser and put the IP in here and see what it comes up. And we can see we've got Windows Internet Information Services running there. Because we've got port 80 open, now it's starting an nmap scan, so what we'll do is we'll open a new tab, and we'll do a dir search and search for any hidden directories. So we'll put our IP in here, and we'll search for any directories we can find. And we can also have a look at Warmup, and we can see it's Microsoft ASP.NET, Windows Server, and IIS 10.0 web server. So the Warmup gives you a lot of information about your technologies and web frameworks, operating systems. It's a real handy one to have. It's just a Firefox plugin. So let's have a look and see if it's finding anything. It's scanning now. So let's have a look at the questions. The first question is, what is the version of the servers running on port 80? So I think we found that already, which was 10.0. Tells you in here. So IIS 10.0, and we know it's Microsoft, which we'll confirm with our nmap scan as well. We can see we've got ASP.NET _ client. It's found there with a 301 code, and it's still running nmap. Just have to wait till the nmap finishes. Okay, nmap's finished now, so we can have a look at what versions we've got. So we've got FTP version Microsoft FTP D. It's got anonymous login, so we can log in without a password. You can see directories there. We've got ASP.NET _ client, web config, port 80. So it's Microsoft IIS HTTP PD 10.0. Okay, so the next question is, what is the file path of the folder shared via FTP? So what we'll do is we'll log into FTP now. We'll open a new tab, and we'll go FTP and put our IP address in there. And we've got anonymous, so we can put in anonymous here for the username, and you don't need a password. And we logged in, and we can have a look, and we've got ASP.NET _client and web config. So we can get some of them files. We'll get the web config file, download that to our machine. We've also got the ASP.NET client, that's a directory, so if we do cd ASP.NET _client, have a look what's in there. System web, so that's another directory. And we see we've got 40303119. I don't know what that is. And there's nothing in there, so that's useless. Alright, so we'll exit out of that, and let's have a look at our web config. And we can see it was XML version 1.0, UTF-8. So there may be a vulnerability there. The scenario, we can see that we have access to FTP service, and the files shared by FTP can be accessed over the web. Because if we have a look at here, we've got FTP there, so we can go here and we can look at the FTP files here, same files. So we have access to the FTP over the web. So maybe if we install a web shell over the FTP service and access the shell through the FTP directory on the web and running commands to the system. So let's connect to FTP and upload a PowerShell.aspx file, because we can see it's a ASPX it's using. So let's have a look at getting an ASPX file. So we'll go ASPX PowerShell GitHub. Try this one. Okay, so we've got a PowerShell.aspx. So we'll copy the code there. Make a file, so we'll do nano, so PowerShell.aspx, APSX, ASPX. So we'll copy the code into there. So now we'll just try and get this onto our FTP server, and then we should be able to see the same file on the web, and we might be able to access it. So we'll do FTP again, log into FTP server, copy the IP, and we'll log in as anonymous again. And we should be able to use the command put and then put our PowerShell should be able to put that up there. Now if we do an ls, we should be able to see the file in there. Okay, so it's saved in there, so we can exit out of that. We don't do that anymore. And now we can have a look on here, and if we refresh it, you can see we've got our PowerShell file there. So let's click on that. And we have a shell here, PowerShell web shell. Who am I? There we go, we have connection. IIS Apple default tap pool. So let's run another command here. We'll do this command will find the file path to information requested in the task. That is the folder shared with FTP, because that was the question, wasn't it? What is the file path of the folder shared via FTP? So we need to run a command in here. It's a PowerShell, so we need a PowerShell command. So okay, there's our answer. Directory C inet pub www root FTP. What is the username of the account belonging to the software support specialist? So what we've got to do now is we've got to let's list the users in the system with the get local user command. So we'll do a get dash local users, and we can see we've got all the users on the machine. We've got Liam, Nora, SSHD, guest, default account administrator. So the question was, what is the username of the account belongs to the software specialist? So we can see that there with that last command, Liam, software specialist. There's the answer to that one. So the next question is, which group is user Liam in? So we'll run another command here to get that answer, which would be net user Liam. This should tell you the answer to that question. And the group he's in is local group memberships tech support. So there's the answer to that question. Which group is Liam in? User in tech support. So then we've got one more question. What is the first and last name of Liam's customer with ID 4218 in the directory C users Liam desktop clients? So let's have a look and see if we can view this directory. So let's see, try and change that directory and see if we can read it. So we'll do a CD and we don't get anything because I don't think we have permission to read that. So what we'll do now is we'll see what privileges we've got. So we'll do who am I /priv, and we can see we've got all these ones here. Assign property token privilege is the increase quota previously shut down privilege, change notifications. So there's lots of different ones there. These ones are disabled. The enabled ones are notify privilege, SE impersonate privilege, and global privilege. So the current user's got the impersonate privilege there, so we can use that as a vulnerability. That's a vulnerability where we can get a connection to the target. So what we need to do is create a msfvenom payload. So what we'll do is we're going to run msfvenom -p for our payload. So it's going to be Windows. I wonder if you can do a system info command here. System info, here we go. So this will confirm whether it's 64-bit, Intel 64 processor. So we know it's 64-bit. Alright, so we'll continue on with our payload. So it's times 64 slash, and it's going to be a meta interpreter. Spell it right. Meta interpreter reverse shell. So reverse underscore TCP, and we're going to have an L host equals, and that's my VPN IP. Yours will be different. So that's the one up here. If you didn't know that, you can also do a IP add command, and it's the /0 you want. So that's the VPN connected to Hackviser's IP, my one. So there's your answer to that one. And we'll do L port, and we'll make it 4242. And make it a file type exe. And we're going to save it to a file, and we'll just call it hack.exe. So that should run now. So we'll run that and create that payload, and it's created. So if we do an ls, we should be able to see it. Yep, hack.exe. So now we've got to get that on the target. So what we'll do is we'll start a Python server. Start a Python server there. Actually, no, we won't. We'll make it 8080 actually, so let's change that to 8080. Okay, so that's running with 8080. So now we'll go to back to our shell commands, and we're gonna use wget and http. Gotta put my IP in there, and it's port 8080, and hack.exe, and we're going to do an out file, and we'll make it C. We're going to put in the Windows temp directory. File name hack.exe. So we've got our listener, our Python server here with our payload, and it's going to be uploaded to the target using wget, and it's going to be saved in Windows 10. So that should work. Run that, and if we have a look back on our, we can see it's had a connection to the target IP, and it's getting 200, so it's got a 200 code that means it was successful. So what we need to use now is printspoofer. So we have to go here and look for printspoofer. So let's have a look at print printspoofer GitHub, and so which one? Get probably the first one's the best one. A little bit. And there's printspoofer. We've got releases here, so yeah, we can download the latest release. We want 64-bit, so we'll download that. Okay, that's in our downloads folder. So now we want to upload that to our target as well. So stop that. We'll move the root downloads /print. That's capital P, so printspoofer, and we'll just move it to where we are now, into the root. So if we have a look now, we should see it there, printspoofer.exe. So now we'll run a Python server again. I'll just make a different port, doesn't really matter, I don't think what port you use. Okay, so that's running on 8888. So now we want to upload a printspoofer to our target as well, which we'll do with the wget command again. There's already one there, so we can use that, but we can just edit it. So we want to make that print spoofer.exe, and same here. Actually, it's got to be 64. I think the file name was 64. Stop that for a second and have a look. Yeah, printspoofer64.exe. So that's what it's got to be. So run our Python server again, and this time it's on 888. So we'll change that. Change it to 8888. And it's print 64 there. Okay, that should work. Run that. Now let's have a look back at our Python server, and we can see it's connected to the target and it's got 200 codes, so it's been uploaded successfully. So now, before running the exploit in the meta interpreter shell, we download. Let's open the MSF console, and we're going to start a multi-handler so we can catch the connection. So what we'll do is, I think I've already got one running somewhere here. Yep. So Control Z, back, clear the screen. Okay. So to get this up, you just run msf console command, which I've already done. So we're going to use it exploit /multi /handler. Okay, and we've got to set the payload. All this should be exactly the same as what we did with our we can close that now. Go back, have a look at the command. It should be the same as this, so that's the payload there. So we need to copy that. set payload, and we've got to set the L host, which is my IP, the VPN, and the port. So set L port 4242. So that should be the same as my L host and 4242. So we'll run that now, and it started reverse TCP handler, so that's ready to catch the connection now. So now all we're going to do is run the command in PowerShell, and we should get a connection back to the MSF console. We're going to run printspoofer, and also our msfvenom payload. So we're going to do a C, Windows, so the location of the printspoofer, printspoofer 64.exe, and we want to interact, use the I command, and the command will be C, and this is going to connect to our msfvenom payload. Windows /temp, and there's hack.exe was the file. Have a look back. Where was it? Hack.exe. We uploaded that to the target. So we've got C Windows temp printspoofer 64 interacting with the command C Windows temp hack.exe. And hopefully, if this is all correct, we should get a connection back to the target. Oops. We want to put that in quotes as well. That's a command in quotes. So C Windows. And we'll run that, and let's hope. And you can see it's stalling. It's not doing anything. It's just stalling, so that's a good sign. Because if we have a look back at our sending stage, here we go. So it's got a connection using the printspoofer and the msfvenom payload. There we go. They're connected. So if we do get UID, we can see we've got full authority now, NT authority system. So we're root. So what was the question we had to find? What is the first and last name of Lynn's customer with ID 4218 in the directory C users? So we should just be able to go to that directory. We'll just go back to the main directory. And if we do an ls, so we do cd users and an ls. We want user Liam and ls. So cd desktop ls, and there's our clients file there. So cd clients, which we should be able to read now because we're got full authority, and it gave us the answer. There we go. Client _ 4218.txt. So let's just cut that and have a look at it. And we can see the full message here. Jordan Smith. So the question was, what is the first and last name of Linux customer with ID 4218 in that directory? So we can see client ID 4218, client name and surname Jordan Smith. Alright, that's that one done. Alright, see you next time.